and 8th special presentation.
This week on Art Beat Nation, a walk down memory lane with one of America's top hitmakers.
Have you left me for someone new?
A dancer who draws inspiration from hip-hop's roots.
Hip-hop's not just a dance or just rap or just graffiti. It's a whole culture.
How one artist creates masterpieces from plywood.
I try to let the work flow, and I just kind of follow along with it.
And the origin of pop culture's most nonsensical word.
All of a sudden, we came out with califragilistic, and we put it together with expialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious.
It's all ahead on this edition of Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you. First, we meet with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bobby Vee. With 38 singles in the Billboard Top 100, Billboard magazine named him one of the top 10 most consistent chart makers ever. Now, the musician and his 2 sons invite us into their studio to see what Vee is up to in his semi-retirement.
My name's Bobby Vee. I'm an 18-year-old singer from Fargo, North Dakota. It all started about 3 years ago, back in Fargo, my hometown, when I got together with my brother and 2 other kids and formed a small rock and roll band called The Shadows.
Susie, baby, where are you? Have you left me for someone new?
Susie, baby, where are you? Have you left me for someone new? So this little thing, I made it up when I was in board in high school. It was born out of teenage lust or something. I don't know. I was 15 years old, 16 years old when I recorded the song.
Is your love light shining bright?
Came out in the summer of 1959 and got all kinds of airplay in the upper Midwest.
Susie, baby, don't you know?
That was the springboard of my whole record career.
We were launched on our career by a tragedy.
It was February 2nd, 1959.
Plane carrying 3 rock and rollers heading for the Moorhead Armory, where they were scheduled to appear that night, crashed over Iowa. The 3 victims of the crash were Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper.
And I came home in the afternoon, and my brother told me that the 3 artists who were scheduled to be on the show that night were killed.
I was so stunned by this whole event because Holly was my hero, and I had a ticket for the show.
I mentioned to him that a local disc jockey had put out a plea for talent for the show that night.
Charlie Boone, that was the guy. He was in Fargo at that time as a disc jockey.
The whole group got together and we started discussing whether we should or shouldn't go on with the show. And I guess I was the only one that was actually against it, mainly because I was scared. We'd never played before a live audience.
We weren't even a band, and we didn't have a name.
And in the end, we decided to go on with the show.
And then I got to thinking, well, we kind of never played before, and I don't really know what to do or anything.
Got to us, and Charlie Boone said, "Okay, you guys are on." He said, "What's the name of the band?" And everybody stared at the floor. We didn't have a name. And I finally said, "The Shadows." And it was this fast. He said, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, The Shadows."
I was almost in a coma by the time the curtains opened up.
Come back tomorrow night and try it again.
It changed my life, really. I mean, the thing changed my life. I wouldn't even be here if it hadn't been for that show.
Come back tomorrow night and try it again.
Ooh. This is the original band, 1959, Bobby V and the Shadows. There's my brother, myself, Jim Stillman, and Bob Coram. And the gold records are some of them. This is Take Good Care of My Baby.
Take good care of my baby.
This is a hit, a gold record from London on Rubber Ball.
Rubber ball, I come bouncing back to you. Rubber ball, I come bouncing back to you.
This is what we did for marketing in 1959. The guy that was managing us, Bing Bingston, he said, we're going to have a little contest to find the real Susie baby. They chose the young lady that won. I guess if you call that winning. I picked her up in my 53 Oldsmobile, and we went out for a dinner, and I dropped her off at home. And that was it. But isn't that something? That survived all these years.
Don't forget to stay right in the mic for me, Bobby.
He's your new flame, but when you hear my name, you won't forget me.
I loved being in the studio. I loved it. I love it. Even more than being on stage, to be in a studio. You can really paint your pictures. There were a lot of songs that were left in the dust in the whole process of making records. And I got to thinking about those songs.
You won't forget the love, you won't forget the love I gave you.
They went and found boxes of tapes like these and acetates. These are the...
Yeah, this is Ferguson Road. It's a Carole King song. And it says on here, sorry, bad mixes. That was the guy that was producing it at that time. But it might be a bad mix, but it's not a bad song. And it can be properly mixed, and that's what we're here for.
Hey, 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 just one more time.
All back there.
That's what I did.
You don't hear hiccups very much anymore.
Just one more time.
130 some odd tracks. Everybody seems to be blown away that there could be this much material that was never released. It made sense to us to tell the rest of the story.
We have talked about him being lumped into that early 60s pop genre of Teen Idol, the Bobby Rydell, the Fabian, the Frankie Avalon. Most people that are music historians and follow that time period know that he was way more of the singer than most of those people were. And this back catalog of music shows that. The fact that he's got 6 albums worth of material laying around that nobody's ever heard shows that they were really trying to get his voice on as many things as they could.
We all have our angels, and yet I suppose we all have our devils. That's just how it goes, and it wouldn't change a thing.
I'm so blessed to be doing what I'm doing and to be in this business that's over 50 years, and to have my family in the music business.
Some distant promise life may or not bring. No, I wouldn't change a thing.
What else do you want? What do you need? This is what we do. You know, I can still do it.
To find out more about the musical endeavors of Bobby V and his family, visit the Rockhouse Productions website at rockhousepro.com. Next, we meet Amy Sackett, a hip-hop dancer and choreographer who uses music and dance to bridge cultural divides. Sackett marries her love of hip-hop and her experience as a Muslim woman to relay a poignant message on stage.
The way that I would describe hip-hop dance to someone who has never seen hip-hop is I probably wouldn't use words. I'd probably give them a little physical description, like there's some of this that happens, boom, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam. There's a little bit of this, boom, what, God, boom, bam. There's some of this, boom, boom. You know, I mean, that would be like a rundown of like all the range of movement. Being a Muslim woman and being in the Twin Cities where there's a large Muslim community, those two worlds of hip-hop and Islam were like separated for me. And I really wanted to bring them together. Because I've been making these really fun dances, and I was playing with, you know, different styles within hip-hop and creating work. But a lot of it didn't say anything. Making this piece for the joint project, Where Muslim Don't Panic, brought together my two worlds.
Bridges frozen, Minnesota, chip on the shoulder, six sleeping on a bougie sofa, unwanted visitor in a different culture, missing home and can't go, they civil warring. Listen, soldier, forget getting over, prison sit around the corner, homelessness even closer, kids with similar skin color still don't want you, spitting insult you, cause they've been here longer.
Visually, I knew that this image of us in the full abayas with niqab, which, you know, covers our face, was going to be very powerful for people to see. And from an artistic standpoint, very cool for popping. It looks really awesome when you pop in this outfit. And a lot of people said after they watched it, man, it looks like that movement belongs in this outfit, you know? I've been dancing my whole life since I was a little girl. I loved hip-hop from the beginning. And then I decided to pursue dance as a career. I went to the U of M and got my degree, a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance. I went from just participating in hip-hop to really realizing the history behind it and the importance of me as a dancer involved in this culture to really pass that on. So anyone who's taken my class in the Twin Cities knows I always talk about history. The start of hip-hop was in the Bronx, New York, during the late 70s and early 80s. And it was really from the streets. It was from, you know, the people living in the Bronx, which it was a melting pot there. So you have a lot of different cultures influencing this dance. Hip-hop's not just a dance or just rap or just graffiti, it's the whole culture. So with each step that you do in hip-hop, you kind of carry on that spirit. During my time at the U of M, I learned these different concepts from these great teachers, and just like how to take a movement phrase, you know, a string of movements, and build upon them and turn them around for the audience and change the viewpoint of it. All of that helped me with hip-hop then, because I knew how to take hip-hop and put it on a stage, because that's always the hard part with hip-hop. It lives in the cypher, it lives in the club, it lives in that moment. So to take it onto a stage is very difficult because you take a little bit of its soul away. This is the most difficult thing in choreographing hip-hop, is that you don't want to, you know, rob it of its, like, vitality. And yet, you know, in a way, putting it on a stage like that does that. Being an educator, I've always been very, very focused on girls, you know, on like giving them self-esteem and helping them like be positive. You know, how do we take these little girls that are in 5th grade and they think being a hip-hop dancer is shaking their booty and, you know what I mean, and like wearing little booty shorts and whatever. How do we like show them how to break dance, you know? How do we put them on to something else that's positive, get them excited about that, and how do we build their self-esteem and take it away from just being pretty, but take it to being intelligent and being able to say something, and what's your viewpoint? I still want to create more work that's personal, that's that has a message, that can communicate something powerful, that influences people, while being true to the roots of hip-hop dance. I always want to be true to that.
Nobody to blame, it's just how I go.
And now, a man who makes a living turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. David Knopp takes basic sheets of plywood and shapes them into smooth, sloping works of art that actually double as furniture.
When people first see my work, I'm not sure if they look at it and go, oh, that's a piece of furniture. I do pause at times when people ask me, what exactly do you do? I don't know why, but I got into shooting photographs of trees in the wintertime. Bare of leaves, you can actually see the contours and the surfaces, and I'll interpret them into drawings. There's movement in my drawings, and I take that a step farther and try to keep the movement going on in my sculpture. I use no 3D software to design these. It's usually an intuitive process. I'll take a piece of 4x8 sheet of plywood and cut a template for a starting point, maybe a nice curve, and I'll just build off of that one piece at a time and coming up with a rough basic shape of the piece itself. Plywood in itself is not a very exciting material. You know, it's basically a construction product. It works well for me because I'm interested in the end grains of the plywood, because as I carve it, the strata, which acts as lines, you can express all kind of movement. It actually becomes the lines that your eyes follow. The process, to me, is my way of kind of escaping. When I'm out in my studio working, that's some of the best time I have. I try to let the work flow, and I just kind of follow along with it. In my work, I'm always trying to find my own voice, and the work itself has its own voice. You can control that more and more with your tool itself. It's like a pencil when you're drawing, you know, or a piece of charcoal. Well, there was an old statement at one time: in order to create, you must destroy. Unfortunately, to create plywood, you are destroying trees. It's nice to be able to reverse that and take this man-made product, which is nothing but a bunch of veneers glued together, and turn that into something that's worthwhile looking at.
To see more of Knopp's work, visit his website, davidknoppart.blogspot.com. Finally, meet Richard Sherman, who along with his brother Robert wrote the songs to some of America's most beloved films. The Sherman brothers co-wrote the scores for films including The Parent Trap, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and of course, Mary Poppins.
A little stepping in time with the musical stage version of Mary Poppins, and a little personal time with the incomparable Richard Sherman, serenading me with one of the classic whimsies he composed with his brother Robert for the original 1964 film, Mary Poppins.
When the day is gray and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright.
The film that brought us the biggest and perhaps most memorable word ever.
Bob and I made the word up, but it's longer than the real longest word on the dictionary, which is anti-disestablishmentarianism. That's a real word. I said, we got to get a longer word than that. And so we made up this word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
How did you do that, by the way? Was it you? Was it Bob? Was it
Well, it was
starting
a
with the word
combination
super?
of Bob and myself, and I think a lot of crazy thoughts we had. When we were kids, we used to make up double talk words, all kinds of words, just to say flabbercobbulation and things like that. It meant nothing, and people say, what does that mean? And we say, well, that's a secret. Nobody knows that. And we didn't know what it meant either. But we decided we wanted to have a colossal word, a super colossal word. And we said super colossal. Anybody would say super something, but not colossal. And then we said, but it's got to be real obnoxious. And we said, no, it shouldn't be obnoxious. That's a dirty word. That's sort of ugly. Why don't we say atrocious? That sounds very British. Atrocious, super atrocious, good. And then we'd be smart, and then we'd be precocious. Ha-ha, well, that's it. So we had part of the song ready, super precocious, atrocious. And what does that rhyme with? Docious, why not? And so we started at the top, super cablabble, flabble, flabbery, Cooper, Cabell, fragile, blah, blah. I'm boiling down 2 weeks of arguments into one couple of sentences. But all of a sudden we came out with califragilistic, and we put it together with expialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. And I'll sing it for you. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilistic.
There you have it. But the Sherman Brothers Songbook brought us more than funny words. For Disney himself, a song could bear a precious message.
I know that Disney had a favorite song that you guys had.
Oh, yes. Well, that was very, key. When we first started talking, we said we played some songs for Walt, and we told the storyline. And we played one particular song, and he heard that song, and he said, that's the key to the whole show, isn't it? And we said, that's right, Walt. Of course, the song was Feed the Birds, tuppence a bag. And he knew we were not talking about the price of bird crumbs. We were talking about it doesn't take much to give love. All you have to do is pay attention to your children, take them out and show them a good time, love them, care for them. But more than providing food, clothing, and shelter, you got to give them love. So that's a little tuppence a bag that we're talking about. And he heard this song and he just loved it. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies. All around the cathedral, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see it, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag.
For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find featured videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Artbeat Nation was made possible by contributions to aid from viewers like you. Thank you.